Welcome back to FPL Spad, your best place to find FPL content for 22-24 season. My name is Spad. Today I'm going to share with you my wildcard team for game week 4. I know what you're thinking. We got international break for 2 weeks after this game week. Why would you do wildcard before that? Anything can happen. But in a perfect world, if the players come back uninjured, exactly the same, this is the wildcard team that I would play. So let me share this team with you. If you like this content, please like and subscribe to my channel for future FPL content. Now let me show you this wildcard team. So first up, we have Edison in goal. Cost 5.5 million. He was in my wildcard last week as well. Reason being he's in my team for this week because I think he's the most nailed on starter for Man City in defence. So he'll get guaranteed 6 points whenever Man City keep a clean sheet. And he won't be rotated like any of the other Man City defenders. So he's your best option to bring in. And money's not an issue for this one because we've got 2.5 million in the bank. So this team would only cost you 97.5 million to make. First game up against Fulham at home, where he will make 4.8 points. West Ham away, 4.3. Nottingham at home, 4.9. Wolves away, 4.6. He's made total 14 points so far in the first 3 games. His ownership has gone up to 20%. So people are bringing him in because they realize the benefits for him and the easy fixture list Man City have lined up. Then we have Udigi. Reason for him to be in this team, he's cheap. His price has only gone up by 4.1. He has good performance in the last game, made quite a lot of points, 12 points. So far, he's made 18 points in the overall first 3 games of his debut in the Premier League. His first game up against Burnley away, which is 3 points predicted, and Sheffield United at home at 4. The next 2 games are hard against Arsenal and Liverpool. Very low predicted points. Reason being for him to be in this team is because he can be rotated with my defenders on the bench, with Gusto and Henry, who have got. Gusto's got some great game weeks ahead of him, so he could be even starting for you in this wildcard. Henry is another great option who you can swap out depending on the fixture list that you have. So Udigi is my first choice in this wildcard. Next up, we have Garvidol. His price has already gone up, and he's only been in the Premier League just recently to 5.1 already. People are bringing him in because they see him starting all the time. Because Pep will not have bought him for like 70 million if he weren't going to start him straight away. And he has started him straight away. And so he will pick up some clean sheets. He's looking like he can go forward with the ball as well. So he might maybe get some assists in the future. His predicted points against Fulham is 4.7. Then 4.1 against West Ham away. Nottingham Forest at home at 4.9. Then Wolves away at 4.4. He's made total 9 points so far. His ownership is really low at the moment at 6.1. But his ownership could go up as people bring him in, as people already have, as his price has increased because of that. He's a nailed-on star in my opinion, so he's my second choice in this wildcard team. Now for my third mid defender, Dan Burn. He's got some difficult fixtures coming up here and there. That's why he will be rotated with the bench players when needs to be done. His price is still 4.5. He's a fullback, so he maybe get some assists in the future. His predicted points next game is hard away against Brighton at 2.7. But then at home against Brentford for 3.8. Then Sheffield United away at 3.9. Then Burnley home at 4.3. He won't be playing for this game week. I will play Gusto instead for this game week for him. I just had him here because I want to show his predicted points for the games after this game week. Because Gusto's predicted points after this game week, the AI couldn't compute it because not enough sample data for that AI. So there's no point me showing you that data instead of Burns' data. So I showed you Burns instead. His ownership is only at 3%. He's only made 5 points so far, but they did have 2 hard fixtures against Man City and Liverpool. 2 hard fixtures to get points from. So I wouldn't take that into account. But for me, he's a great transfer for the future. Now for the first midfielder, Maddison. He's had a great start to his Tottenham career. His price has gone up to 7.7. He's a key part in what they do. He's made 22 points so far in the first 3 games, which is a very decent return for the price that he started at. His ownership is only at 18%. I expect that to keep going up as the game weeks continue. His next game is a bit harder than normal. Burnley away. But his predicted points are still good at 5.2. Sheffield United at home at 5.9. Then he's got 2 hard games against Arsenal and Liverpool. but his predicted points are just as good as the others at 4.7 and 5.3, because he can still get goals against those teams, because Liverpool's defense is not the best at the moment, and Arsenal have looked a bit shaky with the current formation that Arteta's deploying. Not formation, people in the wrong position he's playing, aka Partey playing in right back when he's not right back. Now for the second midfielder, Saka. His price has gone up as well, 8.7. He's back on pens last game week, which was a good thing for me because he's in my team. And I hope he stays on the pens. Is the reason why he's still in my team, in this wildcard team. His next game is a hard fixture against Man United at home, but still predicted at 5.4. Away against Everton at 5.3. Tottenham at home, a derby game at 5.7. And then Bournemouth away at 5.4. He's made a total of 21 points so far. His ownership is very high at the moment, 66.5. That go up slowly as long as he keeps making points in the coming game weeks, because he's a star man for Arsenal, so he has to be in this wildcard team. The third man in this midfield is Rashford. His price has not changed. It's still at 9 million. It could drop or it could increase because there's so much activity going on with Rashford, from people transferring him out and people still bringing him in. In my opinion, you keep him as long as he plays LW. And in my opinion, he will carry on playing LW from last week, because we saw him, that's where he played, and that's why he made the returns. And in the first 3 games, he's amounted to 12 points now, mainly from the last game. I think he made 8 points in the last game. If he carries on playing there, he'll be very effective in getting assists and maybe some goals. His next game is against Arsenal away, predicted points at 5. Brighton at home, predicted points at 5.8. Then Burnley away at 5.5 away. Then Crystal Palace at home at 5.8. There are some good returns in the next coming 4 game weeks if the AI is right. His ownership is nearly at 40%. His ownership is going up and down, so I don't know what to make of it. From looking at the data, his price could drop or it could not. But I'm not 100% sure. But he is probably going to be one of the nailed-on stars in most people's teams in a wildcard game week. Now for the fourth midfielder, everyone's probably bringing him in this game week. His price has already gone up to 7.1. Raheem Sterling. He's been playing amazing in the first 3 games. He looked the most threatening, and it proved in the last game where he amassed 19 points by getting 2 goals and an assist. His predicted points against Nottingham Forest at home is 5.3. Hopefully he gets double that if he carries on like the last game. Bournemouth away at 4.6. Villa at home at 4.6. And Fulham away at 4.5. There are some good fixture lists for Chelsea and Raheem Sterling to make a good amount of points. His ownership has gone up to 11. His total score in points is 23 right now. In my opinion, he looked the most potent player in Chelsea. He is the most experienced as well, as he has won multiple Premier Leagues with Man City. So he is right now showing him his worth to his club. Next up, for the final midfielder, we have Mbubu, one of my favourites. Picks from the very start of the season. He's made 25 points so far this season so far. He didn't get a return in the last game week, but I expect him to get some returns in the coming game weeks. His predicted points against Bournemouth at home is 5.5. Newcastle away at 4.5. Then Everton at home at 5.5. Then Forest away at 5.1. Out of those 4 games, the hardest one is Newcastle away, and you could get something in them as well, because he's a penalty taker for Brentford as well. And in my opinion, one of the star men for Brentford at the moment. His ownership is at 25%, because people have been still bringing him in. His price has shot up to 6.8. 0.3 is the highest increase in all FPL players, including Spinnian and Chidwell. So he's up there with them too. He is my final pick for my midfield. And for the forwards, no wildcard could be complete without Haaland. So of course, he's going to be in this wildcard team. First game up against Fulham, 9.2. West Ham away at 7.9. Nottingham Forest at home, 10. Then Wolves away, 8.4. He's made 19 points so far. He missed a pen the other day, which I was not happy about. But everyone's got him, so everyone's in the same boat. Maybe a few people didn't have him as captain, but most people did. His ownership is at 91.3, going up slowly now because nearly everyone has him and some hold out for some reason. But let's not think about them. Haaland has to be in your team and has to be your captain. Now for the final striker, he's got his first goal last game week for Chelsea, Jackson. His predicted points at home, 5.9 against Forest. Bournemouth away, 5.2. Wolves at home, at 5. And Fulham away, at 5. He's made 9 points so far. His ownership is going up as well because of the fixture list Chelsea have. His ownership is at right now nearly 21%. And I expect that to keep rising as people keep doing the transfers and then look at Chelsea's fixture list and expect him to get a return like he did in the last game week. Now let's review this wildcard team. In my opinion, it's a solid team. It has players from different clubs, star players from different clubs that are performing at the moment. And hopefully, if they do not get injured during the international break, it will be the perfect wildcard. But you never know what happens in the international break. I don't recommend you play a wildcard, but if you feel like you have to, this is a perfect wildcard team, in my opinion. If you have some changes that you would like to make in the defense, especially, because that's where you can change it the most, in my opinion. You've got 2.5 million in the bank, and you can change it to your liking. But in my opinion, the midfield is set, and so is the attack. That does not need to be changed. Only the defense, and that is your own personal opinions that you would like to do. So that's it for this wildcard draft. I hope you enjoyed it and found it interesting and useful to yourself for your FPL teams. If you did, please like and subscribe to my channel for future FPL content. Check out my Twitter feed where I'll be keeping announcements for watch-alongs and deadline streams for the future. Thank you again for watching my content. See ya!